All right, looks like we're recording. That's good. Again, keep active the polls on the side there while we go through these. And I'm going to turn off the first poll question. If you haven't been in there, go to the lower right corner. Oh, go ahead and turn off the audio, if you will, please. Mute yourself and turn off the video. I think we get a better stream of video if everybody's got their video turned off. Okay, I'm actually going to turn mine off as well. Okay, I'm going to shut down that poll for now. All right, the first play I want to talk about is one that made its rounds here in the Denver area over the last week and a half, and it has to do with the defender contacting a receiver. And so you're looking at a drone shot. Offense is at the top of the screen in white. You'll see an arrow here in a sec who we're looking at. We've got a defender number 17 here that we're focusing our attention on. And I'll run this through a couple times. See, a flag comes out. And it'll replay again. Hey, Bates, can you let me know is this running pretty smooth on your end?
Yeah, it looks really good for me.
Okay. Suppose that could vary based on Wi-Fi speed. Okay, so the question is, we've got a flag for something, and I'm going to pull up the poll here. I'm going to launch this poll. You should see did I do this right? Yep, that one ended. So you should see a poll question. Illegal use of hands, yes, no, or other. I'll continue to play it while you all put those votes in there. And I encourage you to put something in there. Always vote for me if you don't mind. I don't want any I don't knows. Just go ahead and vote what your best option is based on the information you've got. And I know videos not like being on the field. Let's see, you got about 35 votes. There's about 63 listening. Hopefully, if you didn't hear me early on, in the lower right corner, the blue triangle, square, and circle, click on that. That'll bring up the option to click on polls. Click on the polls and then make your selection. Looks like I saw a hand raised. Is that Jeff? Is your hand still up? You got a question? Or is that just a click mistake? All right, I got about 50 votes in. One more run through, and then I'm going to shut it down, and we're going to talk about this real quick. All right, so looks like our votes are about 2-1. Make sure you mute your microphone. I hear some background noise here. Mute your microphone for me, please. Looks like we're about 2-1, no foul to the foul, and then we've got some others. If you don't mind putting in the chat box, I think it's a little tricky to have both those up, but put in the chat box if you see something other than illegal use of hands. Note that this ball is not in the air when the contact happens, so we can't have pass interference if that's what you're thinking this was. The ball was not in the air. All right, let's talk real quick about what it is. Oh, this is way smaller than I thought it was going to be. Let me read this real quick to you. This is straight out of the case book. And I learn as I do these things, you all I don't want you thinking that I know all this information. This thing makes me better when I prepare to share information with you. In the case book, 923A says, end A1 sprints from the line and then cuts sharply towards the middle of the field. A1, the receiver, makes no attempt to block defensive back B1. B1 pursues A1 and pushes him from the side using his open hands. Contact is made on A1's upper arm before the pass occurred. I apologize, that's probably pretty small print for you all. Ruling, illegal use of hands by B1. The defender may legally contact an eligible receiver beyond the neutral zone before the pass is in flight, provided the receiver is not a potential blocker. The contact may be a block or warding off the opponent who is attempting to block by pushing or pulling him. However, if the receiver is not attempting to block or has gone past the yard line occupied by the defender or is moving away, it is illegal for the defender to use hands in a manner described. In this situation, it is clear that A1 is no longer a potential blocker. Now, the situation that's described here is in the casebook, not the one that you watched on video. So it goes on to say the rule number 235A and 757. So what I want to do, whoops, go back. I'm going to run this through again. I'm going to close out this poll. And again, we're about a 2-to-1 no to yes. I'm going to end that poll and open up a new one. Based on that casebook, I'm going to launch a new poll here and run this through. And you tell me if your vote's any different. So I want you to make sure you vote again. Don't shy away. If you got the same vote, vote it. And I'll be the first to admit that this is not the space of the rule book I pay attention to. I'm an umpire / referee. I don't envy the back judges rule back there trying to figure this stuff out. All right, we got a few votes yet to come in. Make sure you vote, please. I'd love to get all 63 of us participating in here. Another swig of sea breeze. Looks like the other dropped. Now we're back to about 50-50. Okay, I'm going to shut that down. No, I don't have anything to share with you other than this type of judgment is part of why we get paid the big bucks. Obviously, the coach of the defensive team was not happy with a flag here, primarily because they intercepted the ball in a very close game. I mean, we can't deny that there's contact. I think it all comes down to whether that receiver had the potential to be a blocker or not. A lot of times we'll talk about, did it have an influence on the play? It's kind of hard to tell when you're in this coverage space. There's a lot of judgment that's got to go in. We obviously don't want defensive pass interference called on the opposite side of the field when it had no influence on the play. In this case, I think there is a potential that ball could have been passed to him, and maybe he was off his route and rerouted, as I saw Chavez commented there. So anyway, tough calls, 50-50 on the revote. So I appreciate you guys doing that. All right, I'm going to, oh geez, did I already shut that off? Yes, I did. All right, let me go to the next play. All right, we're going to go play number 2. We launch number 2. It's a little choppy on my end to start with, so don't think that this one's bad on your end just because it's a little bit choppy. For some reason, this is coming through a little bit choppy to start with. So we got a breakaway run, opposite side, and we're focusing on. Probably should have highlighted that. Let me take it back to where I want you guys to look. It'll be right. It'll be one of these guys getting blocked right here. the trailing guy. We're looking right up, reversing the direction. We're looking up about the 35-yard line, 30-yard line. Yeah, 35-yard line. We're looking for a blindside block call. So go ahead and vote your opinion about whether that should be a blindside block or not. This started, so we're about, all right, we'll just keep repeating it about right here. Boom. All right, one more time. Give me your votes, please. I want as many participating in this as I can. All right, I'm going to let it keep playing here and share my thoughts on this. We talk about a blindside block is one that the defender does not see it coming. I see an awareness, and I will tell you guys, when we talk about dead ball officiating or, again, looking away from the ball, if the ball is not your responsibility, the goal line's not yours, and in this case, the sideline's not threatened, 4 other officials should be looking at the mass of humanity pursuing this runner, looking for knuckleheads, taking advantage of a situation, thinking they're not going to get caught. When we see these blindside blocks, it is best if we see them develop. And one that's looking from maybe even this side, the line judge side vantage point here could see this real well. The headlines might even be straight lined on it, so it's not as easy, but you really need to see it develop. And I believe this defender sees the block coming. I've got no foul on this at all. This is a clean block. I don't see any reason we would have a foul thrown on this, even though the coach thought it was needed. And so I guess I'm going to reach out there. Anybody got a strong opinion about why they said, yes, this is a blindside block? I think I saw somebody make a comment that it was an unnecessary block. I don't know that that's in this particular space. I think if you're pursuing that runner, I don't have a problem with this block. He still had potential. If that runner cut back the other direction, he might have had a chance. So I don't believe it was so far away that it was unnecessary in the pursuit. Anybody have a strong feeling on the yes vote here? Anybody want to step up and say, here's why I would throw that? Maybe raise your hand if you do. Raise your hand if you want to speak about your yes vote. Anybody? It's all right. Hey, this is opinion stuff we're talking about. We're talking about judgment here. So love to hear thoughts. We're not going to ostracize anybody. We're going to learn. We're going to get better. We're going to get more consistent with what we do. No takers? I'm good with that. But I believe this is a no foul. All right, I'm going to shut that one off. We're going to go to the next play. Play number 3. I'm going to turn on the all right, so this is a question. Is this holder down? Should this be whistled over? I'll let you see it here. I might squeeze this right side as we get there. Should this be blown dead or pass available? Hold on, let me see if I can pull this side. There we go. All right, let's start it like this. You know, we see as white hats, a lot of times we'll see the punter's knee on the ground when they're trying to gather the ball up. So the question is this play dead or let it play out? Again, I'd love to have all 63 of you throw a vote in for me, please. Nobody's tracking any details on this. There's no connection to you. You've got an opinion, I want to see it on here. And so far, maybe not so much that last play. So far, we're showing how it can be frustrating for a head coach to find consistency in what we're doing. "50-50" is the final. Interesting stuff. That was my goal, to find plays that we could find a 50-50 space. I had this ruled dead primarily because it's a messed up play. It's a failure on the snapper and holder's part, and I did not like the idea of rewarding this player able to scramble around and then pick up and throw a Hail Mary into the end zone. In essence, rewarding him for a failed situation. Not that played through my head when I saw this, but nonetheless, that's probably part of the reason. So I had play is over. Anybody want to raise their hand on the no side? Raise your hand if you'd like to throw an argument out why you'd like to let this play out. And again, I got nothing against anybody that's got another opinion on this. Total judgment. I think when I threw the ball, I had his knee, at least one knee down, and he pinned the ball on the turf. To me, that was enough to secure the play over. Anybody? Any takers? Feel free to raise your hand. So Mark Myers says, can he stand up and immediately go back down? Yeah. So, yeah, I encourage you, if you're a white hat, take a look at the rule book. The snapper can actually go up on a bad snap, come down, put the ball down, and still get back up and throw a pass. There's a whole myriad of different situations that can occur. What he can't do is scramble around on the ground like he did there, get up. I'm sorry, scramble around the ground, put it down, and then get up. So in this case, he goes straight from down to up. All right, I'm going to shut that one down. No takers on the no vote, which is fine. I don't want to be the only one influencing these decisions, and I know you guys only have one chance to look at it, and I've been looking at these in preparation. Play number 4. So I got to shut that one off. Fire this one up. All right, this is a call for you umpires. Ineligibles downfield on what appears to be an intended screen pass. So you can see the line of scrimmage is about the 32-yard line. Looks like the pass landed about the 30 or the 30. I'm sorry, 28-yard line is no, that's the 32.
27.
No, I think it's.
Look at your arrow.
Yep, 27. You're right. I was off by a yard line there. So snapped at the 27. Ball lands about the 32 in what was intended to be a screen pass. You can see the umpire points to an ineligible downfield. So it looks like probably a busted play. Ball went way errant over the top. So the question is, do you want to foul for an ineligible downfield on this intended screenplay? Obviously, the ineligible is beyond 2 yards downfield, so that's a no-brainer where his location was. I will admit, to keep moving here, I will admit that when I first looked at this, I think I had my yard lines off a little bit. We always say, try to make it what it was intended to be, and this is just a poorly executed screen pass. But with that said, those linemen are down about 5 feet, and 5 yards. The ball lands about 3 yards beyond the neutral zone. Typically, I like to use the rule of thumb that if the receiver that it was thrown to, being 6 foot tall and his arms go up in the air a couple feet above that, if that was the intended target and that would have been behind the line of scrimmage, just because it went beyond the line of scrimmage as a result of him not catching that, I would typically say leave that alone. Just let the incomplete pass be the result of a no flag here, or result of the penalty. So I think this is probably on the edge for me, because those linemen are so far down, and it's not just a little bit beyond, it's about 3-4 yards beyond the line of scrimmage on that errant screen pass. So I'd say I'm not surprised it's about a 50-50 opinion on this. Anybody have a judgment on either side of that? Yes or no, why you like this or not like this? Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, so for me, right, you got to figure out when's the ball released and where is he at, right? Because it's not where the ball lands and where he's at that time, right? So is this guy down when that ball is released? From this angle, I have a hard time telling that, but that's the question that you have to ask yourself, and that's the question you have to answer, because it's not where the ball lands, because these guys can move.
I think what you're referring to is the lineman downfield when the ball is released. So if the ball is released about right, the ball is released about right there, they're not as far downfield. They're only probably
right.
Well, he's down about, he's already down 7 when the pass is thrown. Again, I think the focus is more on that.
He's not down 7, Kirk. He's down about 3 yards.
Here, let me stop it where I believe the pass occurs about right there. So this is 50-something.
He's at least 4
He's
yards
up to
down.
30. We snapped it to 27, right?
Oh, we stepped right here?
No. Up one.
No, we snapped it to 27. He's about at 3.
Good point. Again, I was off by those 5 yards.
I'm just saying, right, that that these guys can cover a lot of ground, right? And so for us to throw this, or for the umpires to throw this, or whoever, you have to know when the ball is released and where that guy is at.
Yeah, good point.
And then the other thing you have to know is, and it's not in this case, right? Then you have to know, is this ball touched at all, right? Prior to it going down the field, right? Because that takes off other things.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's what you have to judge. It's not where it lands and where he's at. It's when did it release and where is he at?
Yep. Nope. I think this is good conversation. All right. I'm going to keep moving. All right. I'm going to launch the next one. This is a catching interference call. Good comments. I appreciate that. And these are tough for back judges. This is one of the reasons I don't want anything to do with that job of back judge. So here we've got, let me pull this in so we don't have to see the entire kick. We'll start about right here. So I guess I look to back judges as you guys answer the question, how much room do you need to have no interference? Seems like he gets there right at the same time the ball gets there. Ball's loose. Recovered by R. Back judge does not have a flag. I think there's a term in there. He's got to have an unadulterated access to that football. It appears that he has that in this case, but again, it is bang, bang. And maybe that's too close for you back judges. Looks like we've got a significant number of yeses.
Yeah, my opinion on this one is the back judge is too close. He needs to be further away.
Agree. And I appreciate one of the things that I'm glad you mentioned that, Bates. As we look at these plays, we want to be in a position to be best able to rule on these things. You know, there's still going to be judgment involved, but when we're not in the right position, I've got a wing official that's already on the field and the play's not over yet. This is not our area. This is some other state, but we don't, oh, actually, he drops a flag, doesn't he, from the line judge position. So I always like to talk about, are we in the best position per our mechanics manual to see the best information we can to gather and make a judgment call. Looks like a significant amount of yes votes, and that's probably what I was assuming would be the case. All right, I'm going to shut that one off. We got one we're going to do. Play number 6, similar kind of situation. I just couldn't pick it one out over the other. A little closer to the snap.
Oh, you hit him before, yeah.
It's all about timing, isn't it? It's all about having, and I don't think they threw the flag on the KCI. I think that was probably something somebody said or did after the play was over. But again, video is probably not the best way to make judgments on this. But position is important. Having that 45-degree angle, I think back judging, you want to be back 5 to 10 yards at an angle, I think, to get the best view of all the information that you have available. I think we can move off of this one. Looks like we've got about 27 voters. All right, going to go to the next play. Again, this is why I don't want to be a back judge. Let's see. We've got, we're going to have a little bit of after play action. You'll see some action right there, a little swat here, there. Go back, started about right here. Plays over, number 85. It's kind of hard to see unless you slow it down. Number 85 does the same thing that the retaliation does. Get in here. We don't need to see all this other stuff. It's like a helmet came off. 85 does an open hand slap to the helmet, just like number 10 does. I'll stop it right here. You can, I'll actually see slow motion it for you guys. You get 85. You can see him give that that right hand, boom. Might even be a closed fist, and then number 10 retaliates with what appears to be probably an open hand slap across the face. So the question is, here's my launch of the question. So the question is open. Fighting, and if we have fighting, it's ejection. So are we going to eject players on this play? I don't give you an option to do them both, because I will tell you, I'm just going to make the statement that they both did the exact same thing. Number 85, let's just say he gave the open hand to the face mask punch, just like number 10 did there. The question is, you're going to eject both these players for that action. Looks like we've got significant, about 4-1. No, we're going to keep him in the game with the striking. I could see how somebody could vote yes for this. I mean, that is inciting a violent behavior. There is a pretty significant connection to open fist versus closed fist. And these are, let's just say they were both open-handed slaps to the face. And we typically try to keep players on the field, but it kind of depends on maybe how we started this whole thing. You got 2 players that are probably on the edge. They were probably problems before this happened. So not surprised that we're about 3-1 on the poll. All right, I'm going to jump to this last one. Now, I think I'm just going to call it good. We may do these if we got maybe the weekend after we have Novak. I've got some more that are probably in this close to 50-50 space that we can learn from. So with that, I'm going to let you guys get back to watching your Taylor Swift Kansas City Chiefs game. I appreciate you guys joining tonight. This is fun stuff for me to do, and I appreciate your participation in it. So always have a great week.
Thanks, Kirk. Thanks for doing this.
You bet. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Thank you.